and on TV. You responded to my letter and you called me to State House. When I came, I was extremely timid. You looked at me. Actually, I almost sussed in my trouser. But the meeting took about 5 minutes. You asked me what my problems were. I told you that I wanted to manufacture ARVs and SCTs after telling you my story. In 5 minutes, you said, I asked you, and I told you I had technology. You told me, and I told you I didn't have money. You told me that, young man, go ahead, if you can do this, I'll give you a letter of support and you should be able to raise money. You gave me that letter, and Barclays Bank gave me $18 million based on your letter. I needed $33 million. I went to CIPLA. When they saw your letter and the letter from Barclays, they lent me $5 million. And they gave me machines on loan for $5 million. You came and we started a factory after giving us land in Luzira. You came and inspected that land. And as we were building. But I was very surprised that the $28 million we had mobilized were not enough. Again, I wrote to you. You invited us, and this is very dear to me. I'll never forget it. You invited us very late at night, after midnight. I found a group of ministers led by the late Prime Minister, Apollon Sivambi. May his soul rest in peace. You explained to him what we wanted to do. You stayed on the table and you told him to lead the meeting. I'll never forget that actually one by one attacked us, that we were trying to do something that nobody else has ever done. Thank God you remained there, and I actually thought you were sleeping. But all of a sudden, when I told them that I was implementing your policy of eliminating HIV/AIDS in this country, you got up and fired questions to them, and you said, no, you go and look for the money. 2 weeks later, I got a letter from you that gave us a loan of $5 million without interest. We finished the factory. You came and opened it. Today, Your Excellency, that factory has registrations for HIV and malaria medicines in 34 African countries. Today, we are major exporters of medicines on the African continent. 2 weeks ago, I went to Nairobi on a business trip. A taxi driver started talking the usual economics, how our country was. And he told me one thing I'll never forget. A taxi driver in Nairobi told me that you're very lucky because your president, President Museveni, has got an eye that sees where others don't see. Your Excellency, thank you for having that eye. That eye has helped all these business leaders to do what we do. I'll finish, Your Excellency. I think I'll be very unfair if I don't show you your Bazukulu. I've got a son and a daughter here who are your admirers. Nicholas and Jacqueline, just run here. This young boy is my firstborn. He went into some of the best universities in the world. I told him to come and work with me, and he said, no, I'll do what the president told you to do. He has set up an electronics company that can now detect diseases in animals, and it is an app. And that is how you've trained your Bazukulu. Jackie, I don't know, I don't see her. She finished her MBA at Imperial College in London. I gave her a job in quality chemicals, and she said, no, I want to be an exporter. And she now exports produce from all over Uganda. Young girl of 24 years. Those are the people you've trained. Thank you, Excellency. And Mukunja girl come very fast. As Dr. Ramadan also comes, Dr. Ramadan will give the resolutions of this biannual meeting, and this Mukunja girl is going to share in 1 minute her experience as a board member here. Please, very, very fast.
Your Excellency, my name is Ruth B. Nzika Aisha Kasolo, and I'm a member of the board of the PCF. Normally, whenever we meet, Your Excellency, we have asks, and I don't know why you normally accept my asks. So I have just a few general asks. One of them is, Your Excellency, I want you to change the tone. Why would you change the tone? Because I've been in a number of meetings where everybody is asking you, is asking for this, we want this, we want this. I want you to change the tone. From today, if somebody asks something, you ask them, what do you bring on the national table? Why? Because we give budgets to many local governments. They get a lot of money, but a number of times they don't care to see what they are contributing to the national budget. We have the Prime Minister here, we have the PSST here, and I think that for me, generally, whenever somebody is asking something from the President, they should show us what that district is contributing to the national table. And I think that even the performance of the RDCs, the performance of the cows, the Prime Minister is here. These people should be able to supervise wealth creational programs, but also tell us what is coming from there, because the government has now invested a lot of resources in that particular area. Your Excellency, lastly, you said you provided resources through UDC for the mango factory in Yumbe. This factory, I think the ED of UDC is here, and Professor Chamuhanjire, it's now ready. It's ready. This season, this factory is ready. And we want to ensure that you can launch this factory, but also we want to ensure that research, I think they talked about it. The issue is that when it is launched, the mangoes will not even be enough. And I think that is something that we need to ensure that more resources are put into that. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Dr. Ramadan Gobi will give a quick recap of the resolutions, but on a personal note, to let Your Excellency that the $5 million you lent me, I paid back to the Ministry of Finance, and that is very great because some people you give money do not pay back.
Your Excellency, Your Excellency, I will be very brief. The meeting, the 5th meeting for Northern Uganda has made 13 resolutions, and I will summarize them. The first one is that the Greater North makes its fair contribution to the country's 10-fold growth strategy with the full monetization and formalization of the economy, value addition, and export, focus based on agro-industrialization, tourism development, mineral-based development, including oil and gas, and STI, including ICT, as well as the culture and creatives. Number 2, that the ongoing work to develop a sub-regional specific plan for the Karamoja, as directed by Cabinet, is also applied to other 3 sub-regions of West Nile, Acholi, and Lango. Number 3, that key constraints to private investments unique to the region, including the low level of registered land and prolonged drought, among others, are accorded special status in public investment management. Number 4, that the livestock economy is an integral opportunity for the Greater North and should develop alongside the following mass line value chains: coffee, cassava, oilseeds, shea, cashew nuts, and grains. Number 5, that fast track the operationalization of the Gulu logistical hub, a designated facility to facilitate transportation, collection, separation, consolidation, and distribution of goods for the national and international transit on a commercial basis. And specifically here, they resolved that support should target speeding up the completion of the rehabilitation of the Tororo Gulu Pakwach Railway, and to expand storage capacities and facilities. Number 6, to address the issue of high cost of inputs and the infiltration of counterfeits, they resolved that we prioritize funding of NARO and NAGRIC as well as NACORI for coffee, for research in high-yielding pest disease tolerant varieties, for fruits, coffee, grains, cereals, soybean, and livestock. And also ensure timely provision of free inputs, in particular the seed planting materials. Number 7, to increase production, that we increase access to mechanization through availing appropriate technologies at affordable rates. And to ensure water availability and mitigate the impact of prolonged drought in northern Uganda, water dams, reservoirs should be constructed where they don't exist and desilted in other cases where they already exist. Number 8, they also resolved to revamp Achwa cattle ranch to boost the cattle economy in the region as part of the National Cattle Corridor, and to designate zones, corridors, and land parcels for ranching of livestock to allow the growth of plants for commercial purposes, and also to operationalize the customary land registry for northern Uganda as provided for in the Land Act, and also fast track the process of registering communal land in northern Uganda. Number 9, to improve post-harvest handling and marketing of agricultural produce, provide funding for establishment of rural bulk markets at sub-county level with the post-harvest facilities, among other things there. Number 10, in line with the coffee roadmap that envisages an increase to 20 million bags of coffee, with northern Uganda as a new coffee frontier, we develop a value chain approach for the development of the coffee sector, right from mobilizing farmers to factory, by providing quality disease-resistant seedlings, post-harvest handling, value addition, processing, and export markets. Number 11, to attract FDI and diaspora investments in manufacturing to Greater North, there is a need to designate special zones, economic zones, initially starting with the Gulu, while promoting the establishment of public and private industrial parks and free zones. And 12, that government should undertake informed strategic investments in value addition along prioritized value chains, particularly large-scale agro-processing industries, which have the potential to be competitive at regional as well as international levels. And lastly, Your Excellency, that government should provide enabling infrastructure to production and value addition centers, including roads, electricity, as well as prioritized value chains, providing machinery for them. I submit, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Mr. PSST. Your Excellency, allow me now invite the Honorable Dr. Kenneth Omona, Minister of State in charge Northern Uganda, to come and make few remarks and invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister and Leader of Government Business in Parliament to talk to us. Let's put our hands together and welcome Dr. Omona.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, colleague ministers, honorable members of Parliament, leaders from the various MDAs, the captains, or the chairman saying I should wait. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I was advised His Excellency should be listening from. I want to thank you, Right Honorable the Prime Minister, and all of you distinguished participants for having spared all this time here since yesterday. Your Excellency, the Northern Uganda we are talking about, if you looked at Northern Uganda now, and compared it to what Northern Uganda was about 20 years ago, I think all of us here will agree that the government of the National Resistance Movement has done a lot to change that place from the war-torn area that it was to a place that we are now talking about as a place of opportunities for various different forms of investments. And for this, we want to thank the government very, very much for this effort. Your Excellency, Mr. President, allow me, join the rest of the country and the entire world who are very excited to join you in celebrating your 80 years of life in this world. A life that you have lived productively, a life that you have lived with great commitment, not only to this country, Uganda, but Your Excellency, you remain committed to Africa as a whole. We want to thank you and thank God for keeping you alive in all these 80 years, and you keep praying that the Almighty God gives you many, many more years full of good health, happiness, and commitment to our country and to our continent. Your Excellency, what has been discussed here since yesterday is not new from what you have told this country for all these years. They are just unpacking and trying to expand the message that you have preached to this country for very many years. And Your Excellency, when you talk about agro-industrialization, transformation and development of the country, we cannot talk about this without thinking about the masses of the people. And Your Excellency, all this we are talking about are actually expanding what you have given the country, and you have called it the 4-acre model, which you wrote in your book, which talks about 7 ways and 4 sectors for wealth and job creation. That I have almost made like my bubble. I think I have just forgotten it in the car. I normally carry wherever I speak to the people and wave that book and encourage each and every one of us here to read that book. Your Excellency, the summary of resolutions here has been given as you've heard. The most important thing, Your Excellency, that now awaits, that now remains, is tasking all of us here, leaders in our various capacities, in government, the religious leaders, the cultural institutions, to avail ourselves and mobilize the population and the country for production. Your Excellency, I could have forgotten many things you have told me, but one thing I've not forgotten is one time when we went up country, and I told you that Mzee, we have spent here many days now. Let's go back to Kampala because there's a work to do there. You told me, Omona, let's first, I don't want to head to Kampala. I have a lot of work to do here. Let's first deal with the issue of poverty and wealth creation. The things we are talking about, those are things of those who have full stomachs, who are satisfied. That you said was called in Nyankole as a very good say. So he told me, Omona, if you're a very good say, let's first handle the issues, the matters of wealth creation for our people who are poor. It is this, Your Excellency, that I've taken very seriously in the case of Northern Uganda. And I want to urge everybody to take on this mobilization very seriously. And this is what all of us here now awaits to do. Your Excellency, one thing which I want to emphasize in Northern Uganda is, if it is possible, establishment of centers that can give help to the farmers. I thank you. When you appointed me, you told me to visit and see if we can expand your demonstration farm in Baralegi so that we can use it to provide assistance to the farmers. And this is what we'll want to do in all the areas of Northern Uganda. And I also want to assure you, Your Excellency, that there's no yearning for commodities that bring money. And Your Excellency, I have caused a problem in Northern Uganda because in many places where we are going to meet, I have told the people there that this coming election, they should not vote any leader who is not going to tell them anything about wealth creation. And thank you very much. And Your Excellency, this trap awaits you also. But I'm very confident because in every gathering that you have spoken, you have always told the people about wealth creation. Let me call upon the entire country and those interested in investing in Northern Uganda that this is a potential place now. We have peace and stability, and we await you. And to the people of Northern Uganda, I want to say, the war is over. Tumekucha. And borrowing from one American poet, Walt Whitman, who said, keep your faces towards the direction of sunshine, and the shadows will fall behind you. I want to thank you very much, Your Excellency, for coming, and take now this opportunity to invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister to speak to you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, honorable ministers, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, I had an interaction with you yesterday, and so I don't want to waste more time. Your Excellency, it is my honor now to invite you to speak to the people.
Oh, thank you. Sit down. Bepping, bepping. Kopango. Rio Mabel. Mata. Mata Karamajong. Ingonia. Ebinyera. Ebinyera, they are not here. The Madis. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, the ministers, all the other leaders, the leaders of industry and business, and all the invited people. In order for business to succeed, you must solve a number of strategic issues. Strategic issues are issues which affect the whole situation, from A to Z. Now, the strategic issues in Uganda and in the north, one of them was security. Because that one, whatever you do, you couldn't do anything if you don't have peace. And insecurity was by the three groups. There were groups which were destabilizing West Nile from South Sudan and Congo. Those were dealt with. Then you had the groups destabilizing Acholi mainly Kony and Lakwena. Those were dealt with. And then in the northeast, we had the Karamojong disturbing themselves and disturbing others. And that one also we have ended, we have stopped it. So the whole area, that issue of security is now handled. Because that is a strategic bottleneck. If you don't handle it, what else can you do? What can people do? Now, the second strategic issue is the one we are still dealing with. This is the issue of the full monetization of the economy. The economy of Uganda, and I think the economies of other African countries, have never been fully monetized since the colonial times. I think by 1969, when we had the census, before the coming in of Idi Amin, I think only 4% of the people of the homesteads were in the money economy. You can check those figures. I tried to check, but I think I got the figure of only 4% in 1969. 7 years after independence, only 4% of the people were in the money economy. Then Amin came in, and the figure, that's modern economy collapsed. Because they were calling that economy of colonialism and independence, the economy of the 3 C's, the 3 C's meaning cotton, coffee, and copper, and the 3 T's, tobacco, tourism, and tea. You had Professor Gwenga Latigo talking about Akera, how he was growing tobacco. So that small economy, this is the one that was accounting for the 4%, I think, of the people. The three C's and the 3 T's. But when Amin came in, much of that small economy collapsed. Therefore, by 1986, we didn't have the figures, what percentage of the population were in the money economy. But when we came to check later, in the census of the first census, when I started noticing it, it was 2013.
that's when I again checked and found that only 32% of the people of the homesteads were in the money economy. I think you can check the figures of the census of 1991 and then the one of, there was another census there, and then this one of 2011. That's when I saw the danger again. And at that time it was only 38% of the people of the homesteads are in the money economy. The others are people of Teach, Meik, Keken. We say in our language, Achori, and maybe Langi also. People who only work for the stomach. And that's when I involved the Operation Wealth Creation. I involved the army to say, you go and take seedlings to these people. And when we checked 2 years ago, apparently the intervention of the army had had effect, and the people who are still outside the money, the figure in 2013 was 68% of the homesteads were outside the money economy. They were Nino, asleep, not part of the money economy at all. Only 32% were. When we checked about 2 years ago, the figures showed that 61% of the homesteads have now gone into the money economy. It is only 39% that we are still out. So I will check the latest figures. What are they saying? Now that is a strategic bottleneck. It is a strategic bottleneck for two reasons. Number one, you don't get a lot of raw materials, because now you can see the production of coffee has gone up to 9 million bags from 2 million bags. And why? Because more people have got involved in producing for the market. So if some people are abstaining, it means you have got less raw materials for industry, for processing. But secondly, there's another problem: the purchasing power. Because when I produce something and I sell, I get money. And because I have money, I'm able to buy other things. So the purchasing power of the population goes up. I am a milk producer, but you Ugandans, you are not supporting me enough. According to the WHO, a person to be fined and still have all his teeth in his mouth, like I have now at 80. I haven't lost any of my teeth. They are still there. And my bones are still strong. You need to drink 210 liters of milk a year. The consumption should be 210 liters per capita. We are now having a problem quarreling with Kenya. Kenya is refusing to take our milk. We are now fighting with them. We are fighting with Kenya about the eggs. The eggs, we are producing eggs. The internal market is not enough. We are fighting with Kenya about maize, producing a lot of maize. Kenya is not, the internal market is not enough, and our Kenyan friends are putting obstacles. But if you look at the milk, for instance, the production is now 5.3 billion liters. The consumption within the country is only 800 million liters. We therefore have a surplus of more than 4 billion liters. But this surplus is artificial because we are now a population of 46 million. If each one was consuming 210 liters a year, we would actually be having a deficit. We would need to produce 9-something billion liters to satisfy the internal market. So when you have got people who are just staying outside the money economy, they sabotage the economy in two ways. First of all, they don't contribute, like what the Mkunja was saying. First, they don't contribute. But secondly, they don't buy. So we who produce don't have enough buyers. And you can take the same chivaro, same chura of the milk. You are now sabotaging the milk because you don't buy enough milk. But you can take the chura, the chivaro, to, let's say, textiles. A population of 46 million. Each person needs about 5 meters per person. So if you multiply 46 million by 5 meters of textile, how much textiles do you need? So you can go on point by point by point. So this issue of everybody getting involved in the money market is a strategic one. Not only to get rid of poverty, but to produce more raw materials, but also increase the purchasing power of the population. So that one there is still not implemented. Then electricity. Electricity we have done well now, because that is the other crucial element for the economy, especially for the factories. We now have what you call surplus power of more than 1,000 megawatts, but I'm not resting because I know that surplus is temporary. It is because the Ugandans are Nino, asleep. When they wake up, it will not be enough. Uganda needs much more electricity. We estimate 52,000 megawatts. That's what Uganda needs. We are now at 2,000 something megawatts. This is nothing. So we are continuing. We shall not lose time. We shall continue to build more dams, solar power. So that one we are moving well. And our target is to give the manufacturers a price of 5 American cents per kilowatt hour. I think some have started getting it, or getting near there. You can get the briefing from the people concerned. Now the roads have improved Because what Professor Genga Ratigo is talking, in 1968, when I toured that area when I was a student leader, there was not, the only tarmac road was ending in Gulu. That time they had built the tarmac road up to Gulu. But I went all the way to Moyo, the road was not tarmac. Koboko, Arua. Coming back, I came through Anaka, where he's talking of those ranches of Alexander Latim and others. It was all Maram Road, all the way up to Karuma. But now, the whole place is tarmac, all the way up to Oraba, on the Western Nile side, up to Nimule. I think we are working on the one of Ajumani, Laropi, Moyo. Then the one of Oruyo, Guru, Kitugum, Musingo. Then the one, even the one of Soroti, Lira, was not tarmac. It was NRM which tarmac that road, from Soroti to Dokolo to Lira. So the issue of the infrastructure, I'm not really persuaded, because let the people near the tarmac road be out of poverty. Then we shall say, the other ones are still having problems because they are away from the tarmac road. But the one near the tarmac road is with the Chan Tiekan, and Yo Maber Tiokan. So a good road is here, but poverty is also their neighbors. So how can you now talk about infrastructure? And in any case, some of the products don't need tarmac road. Even if I am 20 miles away, 40 miles away from a tarmac road, if I've got my pigs and I put them on a pickup, they are not going to strike. Say, no, we are not going to the market because there's no tarmac road. That's really, I just need a good Maram road to take my product to the market. When I bought land in Chisozi, 1990, there was no road there. I left the tarmac roads in Masaka Mbara Road, Kampala Mbara Road. I left the tarmac road and went deep because I wanted land for cows. And cows don't eat tarmac, they eat grass. So I went deep in the village and bought good land. Now, much later, these Ugandans remembered to bring me tarmac, but I was already a rich man there. So please, the problem of these areas is political leadership. Leaders who are really enemies of their own people because of selfishness. So the roads really there are good enough. We had a problem with maintaining the Maram roads, but we have increased the money. When I was with Olanya in that our district there of Olanya, Omoro, he brought a good point that the 300 million they were saying was not enough per district. So we added another 1 billion. And you can see that if you spend a bit of that money, on the roads, they will be good. Like the other year, there's when I went to West Nile, and there was a road from the Catholic parish. There's a Catholic parish somewhere where we landed, and we drove a very nice Maramu road. No, better than the roads of Kampala here. You can imagine a road in Obongi, our place there, Maram, better than some of these KCCA roads. So what we need are good Maram roads that can link us with the trunk tarmac roads. Then we have the money in UDB. Money for manufacturers and for agriculture. I would invite people like Professor Gwenga Latigo, who have been very active, to tell me what the problem is. Why is Ojangole here? Our daughter, UDB. Is she here? Ojangole. She's not here. Who is from UDB? Because UDB should be, is that fellow from UDB the one who is standing up? Anybody from UDB, you say present, if not?
Your Excellency, we don't see her here today. She was around yesterday, but she's not here today. Anybody from UDB, Uganda Development Bank? A representative?
No, I'm going to interrogate that group. Because they need to justify their existence. Because we are putting money there, money there, money there. Okay, they may not give everybody, but they should be able to prove that we had 1,000 applicants. We have covered 100. We covered them well. We could not cover the other 900. That one makes sense. But when you have covered nobody, everybody is crying. Then what are you for? So Ojangole would have to explain herself. I want her to show me how many people have benefited from. Because when Jesus was killed, my clan, the Wasita, were not there. But we heard about it later, that Jesus was killed, was buried, and he resurrected. So you find I'm also now a Christian. Because I heard of a success story which happened. So where are the success stories of UDB? Because I am now a Christian, but I wasn't there when Jesus was being killed. But I heard about it and I read about it. And here I am, son of Kaguta, I am also a Christian. So therefore, we need to audit. This one here, we have spent money. The other one of PDM, me, I'm not worried. They still have money. Those are casualties of life. Somebody told me that there was a king in Southern Africa whom they told that there are cannibals, people who eat people on that mountain there. Should we go and kill them? We said, no, don't kill them. Send them cows. So they sent them cows, and they ate the cows, but they were still eating people. So they came and told the king that the people, they ate the cows, but they also eat people still. So he said, no, you send them more cows. So they kept eating cows and people until they got tired and started only eating cows and stopped eating people. So I think my drunk supporters in Agago who lose money and so on, those will be there, but I think they will stabilize, they will learn. So the PDM will continue, because PDM, because in the process we are also shedding a lot of skins. We arrest the people who steal their money, who take bribes, we arrest them. Very, very soon they will be tired. We shall run out of thieves before we run out of space in the prison. They will stop stealing the money. And we have calibrated it well. We have said the one who takes PDM money should not start paying until after 24 months. And he will pay simple interest, not compound interest. Just 10% on the 1 million after 24 months. That is 110 million. No, 1 million and 1.1 million. And start paying and finish in 36 months. So that one we should not relax on that. It should become standard. Each year we should add on money. We are putting each year 1 trillion. Each parish is getting 100 million. So by now we have like 300 million in a parish. Even the one whose money was stolen, she would have to get it from her relatives and pay it back. We shall send her to jail. So it will stabilize. So that one, for the smaller people, I think that one will be addressed. But the bigger people who want more money, which is not PDM, which is money for manufacturing, for big commercial agriculture. That's why Ojangore must really explain. And if the conference is not finished, call her and she tells you what the problem is. Now, on the strategic level, I am remaining with the two dates. One is the railway. Because this economy of vehicles is very wasteful. As you can see, the road traffic jams. We are squandering a lot of money on fuel. Just you are in the car, the engine is running, you are not moving, the whole roads are full. Because people are richer, they have a lot of vehicles, but the roads are not enough distributed to distribute them. Like for instance, when I'm going to Jinja, I normally pass by the Bakunja. I no longer fear the Bakunja. I pass through Nkokonjeru. And there you don't see much traffic. The other time when I passed through Kayunga, I didn't also see much traffic. The problem comes from Mukono to here. Irrigation, we shall have addressed. Now, the other issue, of course, is the market access, which will be partly addressed by the purchasing power. Because if we have more money in our people's hands, they will consume more within the country. Take textiles. In the villages, you find children fighting for one blanket. At night they are fighting, Mama, the other one has taken the blanket from me. Because it is one blanket with 4 children inside. No bed sheets, no what. What sort of... I go around and I see the children without shoes. Up to now, you see children are going to school without shoes. I don't know why these school people don't encourage them to have at least rugabire, the other tire sandals. They are much better than just walking on bare feet. So all that purchasing power, the shoes, the textiles, the food, the market is there, but it is suppressed the demand because they don't have the money to buy. Then you have, but in the case of northern Uganda, the other strategic issue is bad politics. Because you are unfortunate to have bad leaders. Ogenga Latigo is one of the few exceptions. He's in the wrong company. I don't know why. He doesn't know that with his father-in-law, Gino Obonyo, we were in DP together. He doesn't know that I was a very big DP. I was with Gino Obonyo, with Benny Chiwanuka, with Alex Latim, Boniface Byanyima, who were in DP. I was a very strong DP youth, but I saw the limitations of DP. And I said, please, this DP can't solve the problems of Uganda. So these ones, the Ogenga Latigos and Mao and all those people, They are in DP. You cannot have a DP without Museveni. Without Museveni, there is no DP. Because I was from 1960 to 1970, I joined the UPC for 5 months. I joined the UPC in September. I went, no, not August, September. This gentleman, Otim Oryem, was manning UPC office. I think on the way to Entebbe Road, on the left here. I went there and I picked UPC cards and I took them to my area. So, okay, let's support the UPC and see what happens. Then the UPC collapsed by themselves. Yeah. So that's why we had to start a new force. So therefore, you really need to have some cadres who come up. Because you talk of war. The Rural Triangle had a big problem of war. But if you go to some parts of the Rural Triangle now, they have recovered. The cattle corridor has fully recovered. And they don't have the same infrastructure like we have in the north. The other day, I took some of these ministers there and you saw the dairy sector is doing very well there. Masaka town, all the buildings were destroyed in the war of 1979. Every building in Masaka was destroyed. So when you see Masaka, you don't even know that there was a war there. Mbarara. Not a single building remained standing. They were all blown up. But they have come back. So these fellows who confuse our people are really not good. I have taken some of the lessons, the ideas to train the young people, and so on. We shall take them up. Now, I'm very glad the North is taking to coffee. Recently, we were having some argument with some people. UCDA, a group called UCDA, they were trying to deceive people that without UCDA, there will be no coffee. That's not true. The coffee, the seedlings they are distributing are generated by our research institutions, Chituza and so on. The other time we used Operation Wealth Creation to distribute the seeds. We can now going to use different agents to distribute the coffee seedlings. Like for instance, I'm going to get my model farm in Bariregi to become a seed multiplying center. I can cover that area. I'm already doing it in Ixozi. I distributed all the coffee seedlings in Ixozi around my place. And I can use the farm in Kitierera to do the same for Soga. I even have a farm in government farm, not my personal farm, in Arua. So we are going to distribute the seedlings. And our daughter, the wife of Kerumundo, if she can agree and we make a contract with her, she becomes my seed distributor. And I need to pay all my banya mewa. I have some banyas, I know. My PPS, I have some banya with that girl, that lady there. I want to help them to irrigate. Have you irrigated? when I was there, I was telling you about irrigation. Is that correct? I remember the Banyan. Now, don't use wrong data. Because I had my Mukunja, Binzika, and somebody else talking of prolonged drought in the north. Are you talking about my north or another north? In the north, there is no prolonged drought. I challenge anybody here to. Because I saw this when I was fighting in the war. From even Ngoma here, and part of Chiboga, Chiankwanzi, 1 degree north of the equator. It starts raining in March, and it continues with a small interruption of a few days up to end of December. Then you get the drought. The drought is from January, February in the north. Is that not correct? This is for the north and west Nile. But for Karamoja, that's why there is a prolonged drought. For them, they get. So, can somebody challenge? Let's conclude this. Because this, I'm a free information, free consultant. Is that correct or not correct? The rain months are from March, continuous, to end of December almost. So please remove it from your documents. If you want to say prolonged drought for Karamoja, but not for the north, not north central. Is my information correct? Yes. So which north are you talking about? My north or north of Khartoum? If you are talking about my north, I cannot accept because I'm here, I would defend it. It is the only part of Uganda which has got 9 rain for 9 months out of 12. When I was fighting some place somewhere, I was in Ugulu. And I was so worried because we wanted to start the fighting. That it is going to start raining before. And we launched the work on the 9th of March. And very soon the rain started. So it was good that we had just launched. And when we were trying to do the work, some other place, the 18th of April, it had started raining badly. And when it rains, so there's no, correct that please. Don't waste your time with prolonged drought. There's no prolonged drought in the north. The drought is January, February, and a few days of March. Then it starts raining. But for Karamoja, it's another story. That's the one where you have got a prolonged drought. But even Karamoja has got more rain than South Africa. Because the rain in Karamoja is 35 inches of rain. In Acholi, West Acholi, in Western Nile, it is 60 inches of rain. But if you go to Zimbabwe, where there are big farms in Matebele land, they have 22 inches of rain. Here, Karamoja, where you say there's drought, it is 35 inches of rain. I totally agree with mechanization. the Ministry of Agriculture should have these mechanization centers. They have been trying to fumble around to use cooperatives, but I don't know what the problem is. But to give credit to UPC, they had started some mechanization scheme after independence. And in 1967, when I bought that land at Rwachitura, I went to Mbarara and hired that tractor hire and came to open the land there. They came. I paid them money. So, if this method, we are going to discuss it, if these methods of cooperatives, what are not working, then we may have to have direct government control of these mechanization centers, maybe by zone, per zone, per zone, per zone. I would have to call some experts. When I call the people, PPS, when you call people, also call Professor Ogenga Ratigo. He's a free expert. I will take advantage of him without paying him. Cost-free consultancy. Now, you touched on a good point. Disease control and pest control without chemicals. They recycle to concentrate on that. Because these chemicals are a problem. Yes, they help us to kill the disease, but they also go into the food chain. And I'm going to tell the researchers to really concentrate on that. We have already done well with the ticks. We have now got a tick-borne disease vaccine. No, an anti-tick vaccine. We have it now. We are going to launch it very soon. So that idea of having the other time when we remember the water hyacinths, which had covered Lake Victoria and other lakes, Echido, what was the meaning called Echido? We destroyed it with the insects, which we got from somewhere. They came and ate those floating plants. So we used biological methods to solve that problem of the water hyacinths. From cassava flour. I saw it there. So these are just some of these examples. When they come for these exhibitions, Yalama, go and sit. You see how strong she is? Then Archbishop Odama's project in Achoribu, we had the cassava there. So these few cases can be supported completely. You know, there's what they call Muruganda Wakito Kumamira, scattering, sprinkling. Sprinkling, you try to give small to everybody. Don't give small, even if you give one or two, decisively, and he succeeds. Then he becomes an example to the others. Yeah. They told me that in war they call it poro. How do you call it when you just sprinkle small? Poro. Yes, we don't want poro. Do something, help one part. I've told you I am now a Christian. Imagine. I heard about it from the Middle East. Success story by Jesus, who rose from the dead, overcame death. That's how I am also looking forward to resurrection. So we don't have to have Jesus dying again and dying again here. No, no. He died and finished. Now we are benefiting from. So success of one person will encourage others. But when nobody succeeds, then that's how hopelessness comes. Hopelessness comes when nobody succeeds. Now, finally, what Omona was saying in his poem Nyankore, the politics of Abegutsi. I was telling you, Omona, that don't waste time with people who are overfed, and they don't have any problems, and they are creating unnecessary problems. Concentrate on the poor people, the ones who have got need. That's what I was telling you. So I'm glad for this conference of the North. What we need are some successes by the individual farmers, big and small, and by a few manufacturers. That's what we need. That's how the dairy sector, that's what I did with the dairy sector in the cattle corridor this side. We had a few good farmers who became example to the others, and the others just copied. That's what I recommend for the North. And those need to be supported. We need to support a few so that they become example to the others. Thank you very much. Apoyo Matek.
Anthems. In reverse order, anthems.